The history of the building housing the Biltmore Hotel Greensboro dates back to 1895 and Caesar and Moses Cone.
When Caesar and Moses Cone, traveling the Southern Railroad, will land in Greensboro, North Carolina, discover that the Quaker farmers here have amassed a huge amount of cotton and indigo because of the Civil War that's going on.
They decided to set up shop and bought a mill. They started making some money, and as the hotel's general manager Brian Coleman explains, generating a lot of tax revenue. But their headquarters was in New York, and the city of Greensboro wanted their piece. So the city filed suit against the Cones.
So I use the expression of Caesar and Jeanette Cone will bite their thumb at the city because in one afternoon in the summer of 1897, Jeanette and Caesar Cone will purchase every piece of available property in what was then considered downtown Greensboro.
In 1903, they opened 111 West Washington Street as their new headquarters.
This was the first building in downtown that was completely wired with electricity and fastened with indoor plumbing.
Eventually, it was sold to a group of men, one of whom by the name of Philip Mullins. The bottom floor was leased out to the post office, but the post office left abruptly in 1933.
And this gentleman here is Mr. Philip Mullins.
What happened to Mullins could have played a part.
In 1932, in the fall, late fall of 1932, Mr. Mullins' body will be found at the corner of West Washington and Green Street.
He'd supposedly jumped from a third-floor window, but there were rumors circulating and an odd ligature mark around his neck.
But Mr. Mullins more than likely didn't jump from a third-floor window. More than likely, he would have been pushed.
And while his body was shipped away, some say he never left.
Philip has a habit of gracing the cheek of young ladies or females, period. He'll tap you on the shoulder. Most people describe walking down the hallway and getting that spider web on the skin feel.
In 1933, things changed, not just with the post office leaving.
And there will be a young woman found at the foot of the stairs at 111 West Washington Street. In the reports that we found, she was described as a young redheaded lady known to her friends by the name of Lydia. It is thought that Lydia was pushed from the banister from the second floor, so there wasn't a tumbling down the stairs. She had been pushed over the banister and landed here. In the time that I've been here since 2009, there have been 5 men who have filed reports that they have been pushed down the stairs.
Women have nightmares, couples get interrupted. 4 construction workers thought someone was in their bathroom late at night, only to find it wasn't any of them.
None of them were brave enough to open the door. So what they did is they threw luggage and shoes down the steps and hauled butt out the front door.
The one people see the most also happens to be the smallest.
The little blonde-headed boy that rides up and down the elevator, we have no idea who he is or where he came from.
Nearly everyone's experiences seem to be largely peaceful.
The mother comes down the stairs up to the desk and she is very, very, very upset. She wants to know who this redheaded woman is that's been hanging out in the bathroom with her son for the past hour talking to him.
In all, 4 people are known to have died at the hotel, including a man about 5 years ago. And the strange happenings have continued to this day.
But 95% of the time, it's those people who don't know any of the backstory, that haven't come looking for anything supernatural. They're the ones who run into it.